by your earlier submission, what is the implication of this judgment for the polity and the coming elections?
Those who are planning themselves, it is better now that you allow your true figures to be reflected in Form EC8A. Because what happened was that when they went through every single unit as recorded in beavers and the EC8As, there was overvoting and discrepancy in 749 units. The law is very clear now. Once it exceeds the figures as captured by the beavers, once it exceeds the figures, automatically that unit is cancelled. There is no question of trying to deduct the overvoting figures and all that. No, they will just cancel the entire unit. So it is a lesson to riggers. It's a lesson to those who do not want to come to terms with our new electoral process. That right now our electoral process is cleaner and better, and you can see that 100,000 votes were stolen by a candidate who was declared great. I can say that confident now because I'm quoting from the judgment of a court. It's a finding of fact. 100 and something votes were stolen to cheat the people of Osun State. So that's the point now. We must continue to play the game as prescribed by law. I don't want to say too much about the dissenting judgment, but let me just, for 10 seconds, brief the public about what the dissenting judgment says. The single dissenting judgment simply says that they should have they should have relied on the register of voters. But our contention is that Section 47 has done away with the old register of voters. That, of course, has been replaced with us now because that is the basis for now. The old is no longer the basis for accreditation of voters.
All right, now let's move on to other issue. Why have you gone to court over the whistleblower's allegation against former Vice President Atiku Abubakar?
No, you see, I think I've explained this a number of times. Now, we must continue, we must begin to do things in this country that accords with morality and good conscience. It is very distasteful that a candidate running for the office of President of Nigeria, when he was Vice President of this country, he virtually confessed that he abused his office. Our boss, President Olusegun, companies, shell companies, by which they siphoned funds, public monies, to fund their businesses, fund their political parties, families. And there's no sense of outrage. There's no sense of remorse on their part. What do you hear? What do you hear? You hear counter mudslinging. You are hearing, what about you now? What did you do about it? You also did and do that. And then in saying so, notice that they have not produced an equally compelling evidence like us. All they just wanted to do is what Yoruba say, "Kadasi rough." Let us play into the gutters, so that people will just think that it is two fighting. That's what they have said. So have they produced before Nigerian people a video evidence, a voice note as we have done of our confessing to a crime? All they have done is to now bring dead evidence of cases that have been completed long ago. And don't forget that when they brought this evidence out, I challenged them. About October of last year, I said, go to court. If you know that this is a disqualifying issue, go to court. They refused to go to court. Why? Because there was no substance to take to court. These matters had been, first of all, there was no territorial jurisdiction, because this matters happened in the US and the matter had been settled and the US government had issued a letter. So they knew they could not go to court. They were only using it for nuisance value. They were using it for blackmail. And they were using it to hoodwink Nigerians to get votes. But in our own case, this was fresh evidence. So I'm sure that talking to Nigerians are intelligent enough to decipher between what we are saying and what they are saying. Ours is a case of compelling fresh evidence regarding EFCC have been trying to crack, like you have been trying to crack a case for many years. You cannot crack a case. Now you say you knew how that crime was committed. I said that even in the tape, he admitted that EFCC had thoroughly investigated that account, but that they could not catch him because they were using fronts. So I decided on my own, in the last 30 years of this country, it has been my forte to challenge illegal acts in court, to challenge unconstitutional issues in court, to challenge corruption in court, to also go to court to promote our democracy and to promote constitutional governments. I've always done that. It has been my forte. And so this time I decided that the fact that I'm in office will not stop me from challenging this illegality. And I want Nigerians to see the immorality in their response. The immorality, and they should be angry about what they are doing. They are doing counter. They are just quoting fake accounts, raising dream about monies are transferred here and there. Even the so-called company, the person who accusing or who was accusing Asiwaju on that issue before had come out to endorse Asiwaju and said he was sorry about what he did. So there's no correlation between what we are doing and what they are doing. There's no correlation at all. And that is why I will decide that, I have decided, that I will ask questions until answers are provided. Right. It is not right. It is not right. Look, let me even tell you, I just say this for 10 seconds. In the heat of this SPV, Atiku went to Ibadan and said before a crowd of supporters, he did not say it behind cameras, it was not cut off tape saying it. He was saying it in front of cameras that if you don't vote, if you don't delete it, you will not get contracts from me. That is to tell you that it is in his veins. Corruption is in his blood. You cannot change a tiger. A tiger you cannot change his colors. Why don't you take it to London and bring it back? He does not know that there is nothing wrong about bypassing due process. This is a presidential candidate that does not know anything about due process. And he was saying it in public, in the heat of SPV. That is the kind of candidate Nigerians are going to decide whether to vote for him or not. He does not understand illegality again. He's wired to promote corruption.
All right, Mr. Keyamo, I'm sure many Nigerians would also like to hear this. Is it your intention to send Atiku to jail or get him out of the presidential race, or both?
Both. Because a governor to jail for this particular issue. And I'm not saying this on a lighter note. A governor who served the state, because of this account called Marine Float account, it was not the count upon which he was found guilty and sent to jail. So who is Atiku Abubakar, for Christ's sake? Who is he? Is he above the law? Does he have immunity more than the governor? When we are supposed to hold him to a higher level of morality in this matter? And there's no outrage by some sections of even Nigerians and the press about what he's doing. You heard the whistleblower was on this station the other day, revealing more facts about the presidential candidate, and to tell you that we have sunk to the lowest level of debauchery. You can even see that a section of the press, I can tell you a particular or two particular TV stations who were inviting people who were not even related to Asiwaju, who just made documentaries about conjectures about what happened in the US. They were invited on a daily basis to those stations by Zoom. They have not invited Achimogu, who was an insider, who have evidence, who have documents. They have not invited him to come and talk to Nigerians. It's to tell Nigerians the lowest level of debauchery and immorality that even some of members of the press have sunk in Nigeria. And I'm saying this openly.
All right, speaking to that, one of the prominent lawyers in the country said nobody will arrest Atiku because it's too powerful. And as a human rights lawyer, I'm asking you now, are there really people who are above the law in our country?